Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. The following interview is designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can be. Stop wasting money on marketing and only do marketing that works. Order your copy of Don't Buy a Duck today. If you've ever felt lost, in need of a roadmap, if you ever wanted to get the right folks in the door and dollars in the drawer, you've opened the right book. Order your copy at www.don'tbuyaduck.com today. That's don'tbuyaduck.com. And now, let's begin today's Leadership Series interview.
Welcome to the Business Leadership Series, where our goal is to inspire you to become the best leader that you can be. I'm your host, Derek Champagne. I'm excited about today's guest. We have Mish Slade, who is the co-owner of Mortified Cows and also is the author of May I Have Your Attention, Please? Mish, welcome to the program today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey? I have gotten the chance to meet you a little bit in some of the kind of the private entrepreneur groups that we're in on Facebook, and I've seen the term digital nomad coined with you and your brand, and I've been really fascinated by this, and a lot of our target are either business owners or executives, and so I think hearing your story is kind of inspiring and lets us look out the window and say, okay, so this is a new way of doing business, and that's one reason why I wanted to have you on today. So if you can start by sharing your story, and tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. So my husband and I are originally from London in the UK, and we got married in 2011 and then quit our jobs in 2012, purely because we wanted to take a sabbatical and go and live in New York for 6 months, just because we both love New York and we thought that we're young and this is like the one chance that we've got to actually do this sort of thing. So the original plan was just to go to New York, spend 6 months there, take some courses at NYU, travel around, learn new things, and then come back to London and either start freelancing or get new jobs or something like that. But when we were out there, we started hearing about these digital nomads who travel the world while they work and run their businesses. And we kind of thought that sounded amazing. So we started looking into it and realized that we could do the same thing. So it kind of all started from there. We'd both done copywriting. We both did copywriting as part of our jobs in the UK. So we just thought, okay, well, we'll start a copywriting business and we will do that while we travel. And so that's how it all started. We began working on Elance and Fiverr and all of those sorts of things to start with, because we had no clients whatsoever. And we worked our way up from there.
Wow. So many of us have read books, and we talked about Tim Ferriss earlier, like the 4-Hour Work Week. And, all of us entrepreneurs are inspired by seeing and reading those things, but very few actually act on it. Tell me about what it was like to actually take the plunge and quit the job and actually make that move that many who are listening maybe haven't done or have had some fear of doing. Tell me what that was like and how you recommend that be done.
Yeah, well, actually, funnily enough, I hadn't read the 4-Hour Work Week until about a year ago. So that wasn't one of my big influences. For us, it wasn't that difficult because we always thought, well, we'll quit our jobs. I mean, we both knew that our jobs weren't going to last forever. There was no real progression in them. So we kind of knew that we'd have to quit at some point anyway. And so we just thought it was for 6 months and then we'd come back and find new jobs. So it wasn't too much of a big deal for us. And I know it is a much bigger deal for other people. I think that we kind of already had the right mindset. We're always quite independent. We want to do our own thing. So we were thinking about freelancing when we got back anyway. I think that the biggest change for us has been getting rid of all our stuff. So we had a normal amount of crap in our homes and we had to basically get rid of it all.
So if somebody has been thinking about doing that or know they need to make a change, is there any checklist they need to think through? What advice do you have for somebody that has that itch or who knows that the change needs to happen?
I think if you're freelancing already and you're doing it from home, it's pretty easy, but I understand why it can be a bit daunting. So I'd suggest try it for a few weeks, try it for a month, rent an Airbnb in a different country and just see how you get on. Do little stints until you're confident that you can continue to freelance and run your business from anywhere. If you're in a job, I know that in Tim Ferriss's book, he recommends, asking your employer if you can start working remotely and see how that goes. If you want to quit your job and start something else and start running your own business, I think it is a good idea to try to start up your business on the side while you're in your existing job. Try and earn a bit of money on the side just to give you some confidence to know that you can do it once you leave.
So you're calling from London now, but I think before the interview started, you mentioned that you've been on the road for how long now?
For 4 years. 4 years exactly.
Now, that sounds exciting, and so maybe you can tell us a little bit about the exciting things about that, and then maybe share about the challenges that come along with that too.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting life. I think I'll start with the difficulties. I guess for a little while it was a bit more of a struggle to figure out how to communicate with clients because we run a copywriting business. So it was to make sure that they didn't feel like we were neglecting them while we were, going off on these traveling jaunts around the world, and making sure that we never used our travel as an excuse. And also it was quite difficult to in the first place to find clients who didn't mind the fact that we could never meet them face to face. But we got over those, and we now have some amazing clients who don't care at all. In terms of the fun stuff, traveling and seeing new cities and living like a local is pretty incredible. I think it's a bit of a cliche that, it makes you more creative and gives you new outlooks on life, but I do think all of that stuff is true. For us, though, I think that the biggest benefit of this lifestyle is just the freedom, just to know that we're completely self-reliant. We find our own work. Everything that we could possibly need in the world is in backpacks on our backs. That's it.
Wow.
We don't need anything else. And I think that it's kind of that freedom is the biggest draw for us.
Wow, that's exciting. That's incredible. So no plans to put the continued travel on hold right now for the foreseeable future. You're going to keep on going on the road.
Yeah, everyone always asks us this question. How long is it going to last? We know people who've been doing it for many more years than we have. We know people who've got children and do it. So the plan is to continue. We might slow down. At the moment, we move every month or to 6 weeks. We might start spending up to 3 or 4 months in one place, but okay. I don't think we want to stop completely.
So do you start to feel settled even in the moves? Become comfortable with that way of life, that feels settling as well?
Yeah, it's definitely. It's every time we move somewhere new, we've already sort of started planning the next place that we're going to, and started researching the areas to live and the apartments to rent and stuff like that. So it's definitely, it's a nice little process that we've got going on.
That's exciting. Mish, right after the break, I want to ask you about Mortified Cow, and I'm very curious, as I'm sure our listeners are, how you came up with that name. We'll be right back.
Take a 5-minute complimentary marketing assessment for your business. Whether you're a startup or an established brand looking for more quality customers for your business, this confidential assessment will help you identify the next logical steps for appropriate marketing tools, strategy, and development for making sure your branding and marketing campaign is a success. Visit assessmymarketing.com today. That's assessmymarketing.com. And now, back to today's Leadership Series interview.
So let's talk about Mortified Cow for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
My wife and I work together as well, and we have an agency, and we understand the challenges of copywriting and writing good copy. And so we're always looking to partner with good copywriters who get it and then beyond get it. And that is not as common as some might think. We had a blast reading just the intro of your website, and we had a good. We laughed out loud, and that's a great way to connect with people. It was awesome. So you've got a great writing style, and that is evident right away, which is really important. I mean, you sell your services pretty quickly when you visit the site, and I know that's very intentional. So tell me about the business, and just tell me about the process that you have for your business.
Yeah, so our business is all about helping companies stand apart from the competition through personalitaful, attention-grabbing text. So as a result, we aim to help our clients reach their dream customers and make sure that those customers feel like they couldn't work with or buy from anybody else in the world. That's our big thing. The process of working with us is it's not in person, but we tend to ask a lot of questions. So we want to know everything about our client's business, how it got started, why they started it, who their dream client is, just absolutely everything. We ask a bunch of questions, and we just really try and get to the nub of why this business is why people need to know about this business and why a potential client would love to work with them. And then we set about writing their copy, so it can be their homepage, it can be their website, their homepage, their about page, all that sort of thing, or their marketing materials or autoresponder sequences. We just do all of that.
So tell me about the name Mortified Cow.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no hilarious backstory behind this. We came up with the name just out of the blue. I think, yeah, you've got to worry about what goes on in our minds sometimes. But it does a really good job because we don't want to work with stuffy, boring corporate companies, and they're immediately put off by our name and by the words on our site. So it does a good job of alienating the people we would never want to work with and attracting people that we would love to work with.
Tell me about, may I have your attention, please? The guide to business writing that charms, captivates, and converts.
Yep, that's the book. I wrote it because there are a lot of businesses out there where either the founder doesn't want to or can't afford to work with a copywriter for their site. So it's for those businesses that just, they want to do it themselves, but they need a little bit of help. So I've written this book to help them. And it's to help them be different from their competition. So every single, especially on business websites, every single website says the same thing. So they're all focused on your success, or they talk about how they have the solutions for you and will deliver the results you need. And it's usually whether you're a large, small, or medium business. And every single website sounds exactly the same. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer or an accountant or a web designer or a life coach. Every website's the same. So we try and get them away from that, because not only is it boring and samey, it feels insincere and meaningless. So we help them to craft copy that would really grab the attention of their potential client and really make that client want to work with them.
Is there any practical advice from the book that you want to share? Any few value points?
One of the biggest things is to make your headline or your first few words really attention grabbing. Try and come up with a really unique angle to sell yourself, because so many websites start with, hello, we are such and such accountants, or pleased to meet you, or welcome to our website. You really need to get something that really grabs their attention. So you've seen our website, it starts with, you've got a great business, so where is everyone? It grabs people. I've seen one where there's a printing company and they start with "print is dead," which is not something you'd imagine to see on the website of a printing company, right. But it grabs your attention.
Is there anything else you want to share about copywriting?
I think another one is to show, don't tell. So like I was saying, so many businesses say, we're passionate about your success. Or we'll deliver results for you. Don't just say it. Anyone can say it. So instead of saying you're passionate about my success, show me the lengths that you'll go to ensure my success. And, don't say you'll deliver results. Give me examples of the results you've delivered for other people. And, if you're selling products, don't just tell me you have high quality products. Tell me about the love and work and the process that went into creating them, so that I can see how much effort has gone in and how quite high quality the end result is.
That's great advice. So what's the best piece of entrepreneurial or business advice that you could share with us?
I think it's something that we definitely did not do at the start, which is we faffed around the edges a lot. So we spent a lot of time doing things that were ultimately meaningless when it came to actually getting work and making money. So we spent time on making our website look pretty, or trying to get new Twitter followers, or creating business cards, that sort of thing. And I think what new businesses need to realize is that the most important thing, especially with a client-facing business, is just get your very first client by any means necessary. And that's something that we definitely didn't do. So it's, just ask people, cold call them, send them emails, go to networking events, just find that one client. Don't worry about the color of your business card or that sort of thing.
And so how do you expand it past that first client?
I think that's the other thing. People are too worried about scaling stuff and making processes scale. I think find, one client, then two clients, then three clients by any means necessary. Just do what it takes. And then beyond that, then you can start focusing on, LinkedIn, connecting with people on LinkedIn, which really helps. It helps with my business. putting yourself out there in Facebook groups, advertising, content marketing, all that sort of thing. That comes into play definitely, but at the very beginning, just find a client.
Great. So now that you're established, what have you found to be your best ongoing marketing or recruiting tools?
The book is doing a lot of my work for me, which is really great. So it's up on Amazon. I did a little bit of a marketing campaign when it first came out. And since then, I think it comes up on, you might like this book lists, all that sort of thing.
Right.
And so it's been really good because there are lots of people who buy the book and implement the advice. And then there are lots of people who buy the book but think actually they'd prefer for someone else to implement the advice, so they hire me to do it. And so that's been really, really effective.
I have ordered my copy and started reading it, and I think it's great information. So I do recommend everybody go to Amazon and look up May I Have Your Attention, Please?
Thank you very much.
Mish, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
The most important thing for anybody who wants to start out on their own is, as I was saying, just do the work. Don't procrastinate over website design, Facebook posts, productivity tools. That's one that you can go down a rabbit hole of productivity tools. It doesn't matter what timer you use or what invoicing software you use. It doesn't really matter. You just need to do the work. Yeah,
and it is easy to get bogged down trying to wear so many hats and trying to figure out what's the most important thing. And I think your advice is great. Go get your first client, and then that's what all your focus should be on. And that does make sense. If someone wants to get in touch with you, what do you recommend?
Go to mortifiedcow.com and there's a contact page there, so you can reach me that way. Yeah, LinkedIn, I'm Mish Slade on LinkedIn as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being our guest today. You've shared a lot of great information for us, and we look forward to ordering your book and learning more about you.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
You've been listening to the Business Leadership Series, where we engage with leaders who are making an impact on their worlds and who want to share their knowledge and experience for your personal and professional growth. This interview was designed to inspire you to become the best leader you can be. Stop wasting money on marketing and only do marketing that works. Order your copy of Don't Buy a Duck today. If you've ever felt lost, in need of a roadmap, if you ever wanted to get the right folks in the door and dollars in the drawer, you've opened the right book. Order your copy at www.don'tbuyaduck.com today. That's don'tbuyaduck.com.